I'll just turn this over to Joe. And Joe, you can tell us about your project.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Joseph Ekman. I was born and raised over in Mountain View in the Southeast area. And back about 2 years ago, I was working at Oracle, and I had 11 states, and I had some problems with my health. So 2 days after I turned 50, I went ahead and I had heart surgery. They put an implant monitor. After my surgery, I was in recovery, and a gal came in and gave me a piece of paper and said, "Mr. Ekman, go ahead and put this in your wallet, and hopefully somebody will find it." And the only words I heard was "hopefully." And I said, are they going to know that I'm going to have a monitor or the papers there? She goes, "Well, somebody will look for it." And it's, thanks. I asked her if she had a pen, started writing down some notes. My doctor came in, yelled at me and said, "No notes, you need to be off of work." So now I might hit the deck. If I do, I have my card. And so what I did was I redesigned the card. And I put a picture, your blood type, all your information on the back and front. And I did a color code. My 12-year-old daughter at the time said, "Why don't you use red, yellow, and green?" So red is high risk, which means you could have a device, you could be a diabetic, you could have a certain allergy that can kill you. Yellow is medication, you're on a certain medication, it means slow down, caution. And then green is you're good to go. I also coached at the time at Archbishop Medi Lacrosse and also at Sarah for a year. So as a coach, I'm looking around and because the technology fields that we've all been in, there is really no standard when it comes to about the 5 places. So I was able to get an okay and take a class up at USF, and part of my research paper was on emergency standard. And so I want to talk to you about that. So from the card, which we have, we also have an app. And go ahead. So on the app, it's called ICE Standard. And after you download the app, we recommend that you put it on the first screen on the left-hand corner. And then you put your information in. As you fill out the forms, it changes just like on our card, the 3 colors. And then the beauty of what we did, because I've been in technology for a while, and I had my team from IBM and some of the other places I've worked. If you have a password protected on your phone, we were able to go in the front layer and design for it to pop up on your lock screen so that they can see if the first time responders can get a baseline for triage. So they can see if you're red, yellow, or green, and that way they can assess the situation. And it was humorous because I was listening about the city, about if there's a disaster. And so the next step, what we've done is we have the cards, we have the app, and now we put it into a cloud. Back in 2007, I bought the domain name highabovetheclouds.com. So now if you're an employer and you have your employees, you'll be able to put your information down in the cloud where when FEMA comes or the disaster teams come, they can go through the satellite, log into a portal, and find out how many people have in the building and what their status is. Right now, a lot of the thing is Big Brother, intrusive, the HIPAA laws. What we've done is if you don't want to tell them what medicine you have, what condition, you put "call my doctor" in the field. It turns it red, yellow, or green. You have that. But also they give you, you'll be giving them the name of who to call and who they can contact. So we've done the first app. The app is free. It's going to be free. It's going to be free for the iPhone, which is shipping today. It's been going. It's the #1 app, 5-star rated. And so far it's been lots of downloads. The second one is we've been on Android. That came out a couple months ago. That's about a 4.5 rating. It's still going good. And then we're coming out with Win 7 and BlackBerry. First generation is free. Second generation is going to be add-on apps. And this is where you come in. And this is where Sam Leon, who's a founder of Aloha Mobile, and also Alvin Lau, who's a co-founder. They have a really great positioning GPS software. And so what I'm going to do, I just got back from MIT and I've talked to some other local app developers, is we're going to allow developers to take our code, build off of it, add to it another function in 9 different industry sectors: healthcare, wellness, nutrition, education. and be in the first part of here, the first screen of the iPhone and any of the other apps that we recommend to be in there. We'll have a tab where it's going to have a directory with our partners and also our branding. So if you're an app developer, you want to build apps, you build it, you maintain it, we market it, we have it underneath our nonprofit, we'll do PS announcements on it for you, and we'll go ahead and get it out there for you for distribution. You'd be one of 600,000 app developers, or you'd be with us, which is not a bad place to be in the front to the left-hand corner if you're helping people. So, and then we partner, and those apps obviously will be 99 cents or whatever price that we come up with. So with that, I want to show you an example how we have a partner and what they've done with our app using for the front end. So I'll turn it over to Alvin and Sam.
Great. Well, good evening, everyone. We're very pleased to be working with In Case of Emergency Standard. Like Joey said, they built this platform which will enable app developers to be in that upper left corner for mobile safety apps. We want to show you something today, which is a prototype app that we've been working with Joey's organization. I'd like for you to imagine for a moment an elderly person, perhaps a family member. All of a sudden, that person suffers a heart attack and he needs an ambulance quickly because every minute counts. Luckily, he has this app, this emergency beacon. Think of it as your personal OnStar. Let me tell you how it works. With just 2 button presses, he can summon an ambulance instantly. He just sent an emergency beacon with his exact location to a nearby ambulance. He didn't have to check in at all. He didn't have time to check in. Our platform kept his current location up to date, persistently in the background. The app also has useful information such as the ETA of the paramedics and the location of the ambulance. So for example, here on the app, on the map, we have the ambulance just around the corner on Page Mill Road. Now we're going to go to a view inside of the ambulance where we have a dashboard for the paramedics. This dashboard includes a map with the exact location, Sam, with the exact location of the patient. And this is very important because 40% of mobile 911 calls lack location accuracy. That's 175,000 calls every day where the paramedics don't know exactly where you are. Now let's go back to the app to see how the patient is doing. So great, the paramedics have arrived right outside the offices here exactly at AOL. If you were using an incumbent location service, that blue dot could be anywhere within a 50-meter radius. And so that's why the folks at iStandard look to our system to help pinpoint location. Another persistent feature of our platform is a places diary to remember your place visits automatically. This is really useful for Alzheimer patients and their families. Imagine it's Thanksgiving weekend and your grandfather has Alzheimer's and has wandered off. Luckily, you have access to this family dashboard where you would have your grandfather's current location pinpointed on the map, as well as a history of his recent place visits, just in case you need to retrace the steps in case he had lost something that night. He didn't have to check into any of these places. It was all automatically done through our platform and our client SDK. We call this technology persistent sensing. And let me give you one final example. Imagine a teenager who just got his driver's license. Now also imagine a terrible car crash. Even if the teenager is unconscious, our system can still automatically summon an ambulance without any button clicks. So Sam's going to demonstrate. He's going to simulate a car crash on this stage here. Obviously, folks at ALL, they don't have the insurance to cover a car crash inside this building, so Sam is going to simulate it. He's got a Android phone because those are really cheap. And we'll give you some room.
So I'm going to smash it really hard. We've done a lot of calibration to make sure it doesn't have false positives. Make sure it doesn't fly out.
So watch out, you guys in the first row. So let's listen in carefully. Oops.
Not hard enough. It's still alive. Let's do it again. Just in case you just drop the floor is too slow.
They did it on the carpet.
Taking out the ball.
Whoa, now I know you're a ILS crowd. Well, it did say, listen carefully. Now let's go inside the dashboard, inside the ambulance. Car crash detected. So we have persistent sensing software on the smartphone which detected the crash through the accelerometer. It communicated over the internet to servers at our offices and then relayed it to an ambulance where they received the exact location of that unconscious teenager. Now we've just shown 3 emergency scenarios, but our technology is not just for emergencies. We've actually developed a platform for everyday apps to take advantage of persistent ambient sensing. This is the monitoring of various sensors on the phone in order to develop information about the user's context. And it can be used to build all kinds of everyday apps. Everything from mobile shopping to mobile fitness, mobile games, smart personal assistants, and even mobile dating apps. So I'm going to sort of hand it over to Sam to talk more about the platform.
Right. So we built this system on both Android and iPhone. We call it mobile behavior analytics. By behavior, we mean we try to understand what the user is doing. Is the user walking, driving, or sitting still here? What does the user like? What are the favorites of the user? And we achieve this by doing what we call persistent ambient sensing. By that, what we mean that we monitor all the sensors on the phone in the background. The iPhone, the latest iPhone and Android actually has more sensors than human, right? It has eyes, has ears, has a touch screen, thermometer, and everything. So we built a system that runs in the background passively and monitors all of these sensors. Your location, the Wi-Fi signal, the motion sensor. How fast the user is moving. What's the Wi-Fi environment? The advantage of it is that the phone is always connected, and all the data is always synchronized. So we build this infrastructure in the cloud. It runs a sensor data analytics platform on the server side. On the client side, we build a Aloha SDK that application developers can use in their applications to do all this persistent ambient sensing. So the data is sent over SSL to the server, and the server analyze the data and infer the user's behavior. Using this SDK, you don't have to check in. The system can automatically understand the places you are currently at. Actually, a few minutes you enter Best Buy, for example, the system can detect that. It knows that you're in Best Buy and you are walking around. The key is that you don't, if you use Foursquare, you know that, if you want to check in, you have to manually open it and scroll down a place list and select one. Using this system, you don't have to do that. The system just can, as we show for the Black Friday, all the places can be detected automatically. And also, because we do this persistently, we have to be very careful about battery life. We build an adaptive battery control system that turn on and off the sensors automatically based on the user's current behavior. For example, if you are sitting here for 2 hours, we don't have to use the GPS. But once you start moving, and then once we detect the Wi-Fi signal environment is changing, we actually turn on GPS and understand how fast you're moving, which direction you're moving at. And also, as I mentioned, we have this sensor system that monitors walking, driving, stationary behaviors. So we have done a lot of innovations here, just to list some of them. We built a place ranking system that automatically understands the places you're currently at. For example, if there is a Walmart and there's a Starbucks next door to the Walmart, based on just the GPS location, it's actually very hard to tell which store the user is at. We actually use for example, the motion data to tell whether the user is mostly sitting there stationary or whether the user is walking around. We can use that as one evidence to help us rank between Walmart and Starbucks. So we built this system, what we call the mobile behavior analytics platform. We open that up with a free API. People can just download the SDK and build their own applications on top of it. So we see all kinds of applications can be built on top of this platform. For example,